folks, Ricky here. Just want to share a little insight that was given to me years ago. It's been very beneficial to me over the years. It's also been a huge challenge. See, many of us have powers, and we're good at what we're powerful at. Some of us are good at arguing. Some of us are good at being passive. Some of us are good at loving, caring, sharing. These are our powers. I mean, once you learn how to control something and develop something, you just get real good at it. It becomes a thing you become powerful in, and people get to know you by it. Some people are just good at fighting. That's their power. So every situation they fight. Every situation they argue. Every situation they just love. Every situation they become passive. That's their power. So what you need to learn is to let go of old power so you can gain new freedoms. Letting go of old powers to gain new freedoms. And how do you do that? Well, when you know you're really good at something and the situation presents itself that you get to show your power, let it go. You know you're a great leader, and every opportunity comes up, you take on the leadership role. You let that go to gain new freedom. You've discovered maybe somebody else can take that role because you didn't. Maybe somebody else had a better idea than you would have because you didn't jump right in and take over and run with it. Maybe you're just the most loving person on this earth. Doesn't say stop being loving. It just means that you don't have to be loving in every situation that comes up, because that's your power though, and you like that, and you're comfortable with it, and you're good at it, but you let that go for that moment. See, and that's the key about letting go of old power. It's not about doing it overnight. You just let it go for that moment. You may not be able to let it go the next moment, but that moment you let it go. And what you discover when you let go of old power, you gain new freedoms. And new freedoms are the areas that you have not touched yet. They're the areas you've probably been asking to come into your life. So maybe you could be more loving, or maybe you knew how to argue better, or maybe you knew how to take charge or take the lead, but you don't know. Now here's what's really cool about letting go of old power to gain new freedom. It creates a cycle. The new freedom that you will gain will become the old power. And guess what? Keep following the philosophy of letting go of old power to gain new freedom, and you will continually grow. Because it takes time to develop that power. It takes time to become whatever you're trying to become, or whatever you're trying to let go. So once you understand that, wow, I'm really good at this, I got this down, now I can let this go. And I can grow into another area, because if you're not growing, you're dying. In any area of life. If you're not growing, you're dying. So learn to let go of old power to gain new freedoms, and you will find yourself feeling that much better. And let me tell you what's scary about this now. I don't know if you ever had this experience where, say, when I was growing up, I used to rock in a chair. That means I'd lean back in the chair and I would grab a table. And just before I would fall, I would grab the table and hold on. And that's what happens when I would miss grabbing the table. The chair would start falling back, and I'd panic and do everything I can to try to regain that foundation, to regain being back in the chair and not falling, like that sense of falling. But then when the chair would hit the floor, guess what? I wasn't damaged. I thought I was okay, and got up and did it all over again. That's what happens when you're trying to let go of an old power. It's just like rocking in that chair and letting go of the power, the table. You let it go. In that moment, you are falling. Now, we have an innate fear of falling that's built in us. So now I'm trying to let go of this old power, and I want to grab back at the table, but then if I don't grab the table and I go ahead and continue to fall, and then I hit, and it's, wow, I'm okay. So now I've discovered something. I can let go of that table, that power, and discover something else, new freedom. Now I get up, look around, realize I'm not hurt, and I don't have to go back to that table. I can go walk into another room, or I can do something else that now has freed me. Get it? That's the challenge. It's not easy. You have to practice this, because the tendency to exercise your old power is always going to be there, because you don't even realize it took you time to get that power, so it can become an old power, and you don't even know it can be, because you have nothing else to put in its place. So that's the growing part. Like now, I do videos. Hey, one time I wouldn't have did these. I didn't know how to do this stuff. It seemed real complicated, and I relied on other people. So what I did was let go. And I discovered, hey, I can do this stuff now. And that's just a small example of it. Because if you take this to a bigger arena in your life, you'll find out those things you've been seeking to have come into your life, they can show up when you learn to let go of your old power. But until that time, you keep seeing all these blocks and you can't figure out, why am I being blocked? Because you're hanging on to your old power. You can't get your new freedoms. And your new freedoms are really exhilarating. They really do mean freedoms. And then when you know something about the life cycle, you know what? This new freedom will become an old power, and I'll end up letting that go. But it takes time. So it's not like every other day I got a new freedom, an old power, or new freedom, old power. No. Sometimes it will take years. Even being able to take in this message may mean letting go of an old power so you can gain a new freedom. Hey, Ricky here. It's a pleasure to speak with you. The fact that we can communicate with thousands now is such a blessing. Look forward to speaking with you again. Until then, have the most fantastic days you can.